Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome to an honest review of 2014's It Follows. There's going to be some spoilers ahead, so you have been warned. And Kofi, what is today's plot?
We follow the story of a girl called Jay who sleeps with some random guy called Hugh and learns that he passes on a bit of a weird curse where the last person in this chain of sex gets followed by a really slow yet smart monster that always takes on the shape of a person. And that's it. Let's see if either of you two can make any sense of why it followed.
Chlamydia.
Nice segue.
If you have sex, you're the last one in the chain, then you might die from it.
You don't notice it all the time, but when you do, it's very stingy.
End up like the girl in this film at the start, getting your leg bent over backwards.
It starts very quickly, doesn't it? She just runs around in her short shorts and then no one's really following her, and then she just shows up on a beach with her foot missing and her other leg just snapped backwards towards her. That was quite nice.
Decent little intro. Like genuinely, I actually think it was an alright intro.
Well, it didn't have an intro at all, did it? It didn't even say It Follows it anywhere until the end. Like, it had no credits in it. There was no title.
Oh, yeah.
I guess the name of the film followed.
Oh, very clever, Stu.
Well, I didn't make the film, so it wasn't me. I just noticed it. But thank you all the same.
I quite like the concept for this thing. It doesn't really have a name in the film.
The Entity, I think it's actually known as, isn't it?
Yeah, so it is the chain of two people have sex. The person who's got the entity attached to them passes it over to whoever they have sex with. The person who's got it, if they are killed by the entity, it passes back to the previous person who had it. So it is like one long chain. I actually really like the concept of the entity and how it can continuously change. It's not fixed as a singular person. It can look like a guy, a girl. It can be like a naked old woman. And there's a couple of scenes in the film where it'll show you like a street and there'll be a couple of people walking towards the camera, so like any of them could be the entity.
Yeah.
So that was quite a cool idea, but I didn't feel any tension.
It was
really
fucking shit. I wanted to wait and get that in. Like, it set itself up well. I think the story was written well, but it was just fucking shit.
I quite liked it.
Oh, this is an odd fucking podcast today, because this never happens.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened. Why are you the negative one for once? But yeah, well, I don't know. I disagree. I quite liked it. I liked the way that it didn't rely on like jump scares, and instead it used like the music and the lighting and the ambience to try and like create the tension. And I think in some instances it did really well with it. I get like some of it wasn't great. There were, you know, certain versions of the entity that weren't particularly like, you know, if it was following you, you'd probably just laugh rather than run. But like, the two that like I really liked was the like old lady in the school, like where she was walking across like the grass and she saw her out the window and it was like getting closer and closer. Like, I thought the tension was building there, and then it was in the hallway following her, and like the depiction of like the old lady just staring was like well done. And the other one that I liked was the tall man that came in the room. They opened the door and it was their friend, and then he just kind of appeared from behind her and pushed his way in. I quite liked
that was my favourite version.
Those two I thought were really well done. I didn't feel like, you know, the first one that you see where it's just a naked woman walking around felt a bit unnecessary for it to be a naked woman, and like there's one later where it's the guy's mum and she's just got her tit out for no reason.
Oh, is that when it pisses itself?
I can't remember. I was wanking over the tit at the time.
Tit follows.
I'll tell you what, jizz followed after that. You can have the argument that the ending of this film is pretty shite in the pool.
What the fuck, man? I'm sure it gets shot in the head during the film once and just gets back up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then at the end, it gets shot in the head and is like, oh, it's dead.
Yeah.
But then right at the end, it's like, ooh, there's someone behind them. Is it the end film?
It is a terrible ending. Like, I quite like that it walked in and it was like, oh, you want to try and play? I'm just going to lob a fucking toaster at your face. I did quite like that. The thing can obviously swim, because when it does go in the water, it manages to grab her. So why didn't it just lob a toaster and think, oh, I'm struggling here. I'm just going to get in the water and fuck her up? Because surely, you know, it clearly could have done that, and then we wouldn't have had to get that whole bollocks between where they're trying to shoot it and shooting each other. And
that was like the most idiotic thing in the world for me, because like what's her name? Jay can see the fucking monster. The other guy, it's invisible. You don't focus on thin air. You focus on the only thing you can see, which is your mate. Why did you shoot?
Yeah.
Just fucking take 2 steps left.
Take it back now, y'all. One shot this time.
I like, yeah, how he like shoots it in the head underwater at the end is just, spoiler alert, it's just really shit.
You can only see it if you've got the curse or if you've had it.
Yeah.
So like all of her friends in the swimming pool like area can't see it. I do like that as well. It adds a bit of extra
Pizzazz.
It adds an extra pizzazz.
Jazz hands.
Nice.
Nice.
That's probably the reason that I didn't like it very much, because like the concept was good and I think it was set up well. A lot of the film was like slowly suspenseful, and then it got to the end and it was just like, why has it gone so stupid?
My main issues with the ending. So, the girl, Jay, gets in the pool and swims to the middle of the pool while they're waiting for the entity. Why not wait for it to get there rather than just being in the middle of the pool for seemingly a couple of hours? Like, especially when it's surrounded by electrical appliances. Now, I know that the entity comes in and starts throwing these things into the pool and doesn't work. Thought it would electrocute them, but it doesn't work. But at the time, before the entity arrives, they don't know that it doesn't work. So why are you going to swim in the middle of the pool where literally anyone could stand up and go, oh, 2 ticks, lads, I'm going for a piss. Oh, shit, I've knocked the kettle in the fucking water. Oh, like, fucking bollocks. Here's another issue that I've got. Earlier in the film, it's pushed so hard that the entity, as soon as it gets to you, it'll kill you. It gets to... There's a scene on a beach.
Yeah, I was going to say this. Yeah.
Do you know where we're going? On the beach, it pops up behind the person and is like, ooh, I'm going to play with your hair. Ooh.
Well, no, it was after her, wasn't it? And it like grabbed her hair to like pull her. And then obviously the others realise where it is and start attacking it. But the bit that I found stupid here was they say all the way up to this point, do not let it touch you. And then on the beach, the little like dark-haired virgin fella, he tries to hit it. The entity like batters him away and you see him go flying off screen. Like, why did it touch him? It broke the whole premise of it only goes after the one it's going after.
It can go after one person and only that one person, but it can still have an impact on other people who aren't even in the chain. Like, what the fuck?
If you do have chlamydia, I think I'd probably suggest you subscribe to the channel because we can get rid of
Yes.
There it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, the teens, while they're on the beach, we've already spoke about the beach scene, but by the time they go up to the beach area, they've kind of like driven up to get some time, bit of a head start on the entity. They start like Home Alone in it. They're like lacing the house with like sound making traps. They spend all this time making defenses in the house, but then just go to the beach and they're just in the middle. You fucking idiots. I mean, to be fair though, that's most of my notes already ran through because there's not an awful lot to say about the film.
Mate, my notes are absolutely fucking horrendous. It says, it will follow you for a bit, you try and escape it, and then they go to a fucking pool.
Why do you write like a child?
Mate.
It follows you. There is a pool that they swim in together. There are 6 toasters. Look, what are you doing?
It was just a long, long lead up to a disappointing end.
Ah, well, unfortunately, that's how a lot of people get chlamydia. So,
Unfortunately, that's the description of our podcast.
I actually thought this was one of the better films that we've watched. Like, I agree that the ending wasn't fantastic, where they just shot it and it was dead, and that was kind of, you know, and of course they left it open just in case they want to make a second one or whatever. But I thought it was alright. I quite liked it.
Connor, what's your honest take on this film that was absolutely shit, by the way?
Overall, swings and roundabouts, really. There was a lot I liked and a lot I didn't. I think the pacing was off a bit. Maybe 15-20 minutes too long for what the concept actually was. Some of the acting, oh my god, some of these teenagers just... It seemed like they'd just been pulled in off the fucking street. They said, oh, hey, can you walk about and say, oh, I don't want to get caught a bit? I liked the soundtrack. It was very Maniac-esque. It was like very synthy.
So I read online, which was quite interesting, that deliberately they used music from different eras and they used different styles of clothing from different eras so that you weren't able to accurately place what year it was in, where they were, or like they tried to deliberately make it like a little bit confusing, and that added to like the overall feeling of the film of like confusion and
yeah, like the atmosphere of it.
Yeah, like ambiguity and stuff. So they deliberately did that and mixed up the score.
It's like a hodgepodge of different like types of... That's such a great term, isn't it?
How great of a band name would Hodgepodge be? It'd be like, it's up there with Shawaddy Waddy, isn't it?
Yeah. Introducing now, Hodgepodge. Let's go for a little walk
Dun-dun, dun-dun.
under the moon of love. Like this down the under the moon of love.
Yes, let's go.
That was a beautiful outro, you know.
Was that the outro, was it? You haven't given your thoughts?
Well, I haven't given my thoughts. Excuse me. I fucking said about 843 times that it was shit.
Fuck off.
Okay, on that note then. Yes, that was our, I think it was an honest review, I don't really know at this point, of 2014's It Follows. Could there be a sequel? If you think there could be, let us know.
Let us know in the comments below. Connor, play us out with Under the Moon of Love again.
Let's go for a little walk. It follows down the street. It follows down the road. It follows down the way. I wanna follow. I wanna follow. And give you chlamydia. Oh yeah, I'm gonna follow you under the moon of love. See you next week.